Hey, Hogan neighbors, what's going on? Sorry about being out last week. Mom had a bypass surgery, so we were just dealing with family, but we are back. We appreciate you coming out to hang out with us. We're going to preview another Philview catalog solicitation. We're excited about this. Um, you know, we're coming close to the first FOC, which is Monday, and we're excited. We've had a flood of orders coming in this past week because it's a long FOC with prepay. I figured a lot of people would be waiting, but we're getting a lot more signups. I just got another 4 in the last 15 minutes. So pleasantly surprised. Again, being a new distributor, not being well known, not having major corporate backing, being that little guy, I didn't know what to expect. But I have to be honest with you, this has picked up a lot more than I expected it to, and I'm happy with that. And I'm happy for the publishers because the goal is for us little guys to sell books, get them out into stores, provide new stories for readers, and hopefully do our part to help the industry. I just want to let everybody know, Fantagraphics had posted about the things going on with Diamond. They can lose millions in inventory. So just please be aware that consignment inventory is consignment inventory. It is not owned by the distributor, but because of a clause they're trying to use, they're looking to sell all the inventory, to liquidate it, I should say, to pay off the debt in the bankruptcy. So just keep that in mind when you're supporting the company. And I'm not advocating to not. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of publishers ready to lose thousands, if not millions, in inventory, and that would be devastating to them. So if you love these publishers like Fantagraphics, Dynamite Comics, etc., support them as best as you can, however you can, because they're really going through some tough times right now. And so are a lot of the little guys. And then there's people like Fair Square Graphics that are also stuck in this Zenoscope, that are fighting to get their property back. So if you love comics and you love these publishers, support them in any way that you can, because this is really monumental. It's a monumental moment at this point, and it's rough for some people, and we don't want to see anybody fall. We root for everybody to succeed. So good evening, Mike. How are you? Anyway, moving forward. So we're going to go over the catalog as we do every week with a new publisher that's in the catalog. And tonight's catalog will be Monarch Comics. I'm just waiting for the guys to come on. They're a little behind. They're a little late. Looks like Vincent's in the back, but his device is not connected. So we're hoping that he gets ready to go and live. Anyway, while we're waiting on them, I just want to go over a few things quickly. For those who maybe need a little bit of a navigation here, I'm happy to give it. So when you go to the, I'm gonna big screen this because nobody needs to see my mug. All right, this is the website, and just so you know, we're actually going to be rebranding and going to an even more user-friendly website. Maura is working very hard at that, so it's going to look even better. This is the home page. This is open to the public, and you can easily check out the catalogs here. But before we get into that, Philbo catalog is actually the retailer shop. If you're a retailer, you must have an account signed up. And if you do, then you would be able to access this catalog. That's where you actually make the purchases. Here are catalog links as well, the catalogs that you can access. Here's the LCS order form for those of you who maybe don't live close to a store, or you have a preferred store that's out of state, etc. You click on these and you get the order forms. It's very simple, point and click, very easy for people. This is the July catalog. Again, this catalog's FOC is ending this Monday. So you can print this out. We're going to work on the next website where you can fill it out digitally. Hey, Victor Medina. Victor, I saw the final PDF of Madcaps. Brilliant work, my friend. Thank you for everything you did to contribute to that book and make it look fantastic. We're getting the PDF out tonight, and we're really excited. We're going to go to print soon this week, hopefully. So thank you for your contributions to that book. So you can fill this out, and then you can send it to your favorite local shop. And here's, just click on that, and boom, you get the order form for that. This is not for retailers to order. This is for customers to order. All right, and you send this to your shop of choice. All right, nice and easy, point and click, right? Perfect. That's contact. That's how you can get in touch with me. Okay. That's where you sign up as a retailer. You go in here and fill it out. Obviously, you put your resale certificate number in. Give me a copy of it on file. We will not charge you sales tax, as the tax laws say, because you are a reseller. And publisher submission guidelines. If you're interested, please just go here, follow the guidelines, and submit. And I promise I get back to you in a timely fashion. Okay? Back to the homepage. Vincent is backstage, but his camera is not working. Okay. Starting off good. All right. We got Vincent Ferrante with us of Monarch Comics. What's going on, Vincent?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Just giving him a little tour here, and then we'll give a little time for your partner to come in, and then we will go over the solicitations.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually making it, so that's why I hopped on right away. I didn't know that it was going to the Facebook Messenger. I thought it was coming to my cell phone, so I'm not exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm on my PC. I can't do that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's able to make it tonight. So yeah, you can just get started whenever you wanted to ask me whatever.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, a couple of things, and there's been some confusion. I do apologize. We have our July catalog with the FOC for September 1st, which is this Monday. And the books go out and release in stores October 15th. In an effort to assist Zenescope and Devil's Due with solicitations that kind of got muddied up from Diamond's situation, they didn't get them out. We added them on this catalog, but they're a September release. If you are a store and you're watching this, please do not put Zenescope on the same orders as the ones going out in October, because they ship separately. So Zenescope and those Devil's Due books are to be ordered separately, and they are going out separately. Okay. Click here and you go right to the catalog, which we will of July. Click here and you get our August catalog, because as you know, every month a new catalog comes out. And we will go over solicitations. Catalog for August, FOC, is going to be October 1st, and they will be in stores November 12th. We do one shipping per month, because the orders aren't going to be Marvel and DC 50, 60,000. You know, it's not going to be like that. And it saves shipping on stores, keeps my costs down, of course. You know, as we grow, we may go into weekly solicitations, but right now there's no need to do that, and it keeps it nice and simple. So just to explain that. Okay. Here's the previews, the releases. Please note, these are the books that do not go out at the same time as the October releases. That's why we have it separated here for October release, starting with AC Comics, okay? So these books, Zenescope and Devil's Due, are a separate order. All right. Having said that, and it specifies that in the retailer catalog as well. Let's go to the July catalog, as we're going to go over Monarch stuff. But Vincent, tell us a little bit about yourself and Monarch Comics.
Well, I've been in publishing for about 25 years. I formed Monarch Comics in 2017, and Witch Hunter was largely put out on a quarterly basis. But due to the ups and downs of distribution, as you know, we finally decided to switch to a trade model, because we were able to get stuff onto a lot of the bookstore sites. So Witch Hunter was put out as a series of 4-issue trades. And then when you came along, we decided that we could finally actually release them in the original way they were intended, which was at comic books, and then every 4 months, you know, solicit the trades as well. So that's where we are today. As far as Witch Hunter is concerned, Frank Bruner, who, you know, co-created Howard the Duck, did Doctor Strange, did 11 of our first 14 covers. A lot of the art is very reminiscent and inspired by people like John Buscema and John Romita. And as far as Evil Monkey Man, which is Blake's title, The Saga of Evil Monkey Man, that was inspired by a true song by a band named Fling Lewis. And he basically, it's kind of like the X-Files when a guy gets changed into a giant monkey. He just solves a new conspiracy in every issue.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of books, guys. Of course, we got heavy metal. We got a lot of books. Okay, just working our way down. There we
Yeah,
go.
and for anybody who's not familiar with Witch Hunter essentially, people don't believe in magic anymore, so he's trying to wake people up to the potential before this evil cult drains all the magic out of us that we don't believe we possess, and uses it to refresh the earth and give it back to the races like the Dark Elves and the Dwarves who appreciated it. So it's about empowerment. It's about taking care of where you live, and when all else fails, he just makes fun of somebody or sets something on fire, kind of like Dean from Supernatural, or Deadpool if you only fought monsters, in a nutshell.
Very cool. And this is a 32-page single issue for $4.99. This will release on October 15th in stores. It says superhero genre, but you would say superhero supernatural as well?
Yeah, I mean, I would classify it as a superhero in a supernatural adventure. I mean, Witch Hunter is a witch who hunts, so it's a play on words in a way. I mean, he'll hunt a witch if they're if they're bad, but he's a witch himself, so he's not anti witches at all. He's basically just trying to stop this cult from basically taking the world away from humanity.
And what inspired you to write this story?
Um, well, when I was growing up, I was really taken with stuff like Dark Shadows and strangely enough, Scooby Doo, and I found a way to sort of merge them in terms of the aesthetic, but in terms of the story itself, it's really about people who are who are marginalized, who are singled out for being different, who are judged. And it's the book starts out with him and his mother being burned at the stake, simply not because, much like a lot of the poor people that were put to death at the Salem witch trials, not because they were doing anything bad, but because they were inconvenient, or because they could read, or because somebody had a problem with them. So it's about sort of taking stock of what you have, and not letting anybody not realize your potential.
And this is an all ages book. Is this ongoing?
Well, the ongoing series that we're soliciting with you is going to be 32 issues solicited monthly, which will be 8 trades, and then following that, we're doing a series of one shots, a continuing series of one shots in a hardcover format, as well as regular softcover comic books, to sort of take the story to the next chapter, because there's going to be a big status quo change after we reach issue 32.
Very cool. Okay. And then we've got the Saga of Evil Monkey Man, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, a guy named Mike Ross signs up for an experiment, and the downside of it is he gets changed into a giant monkey. So what he does is he travels around with a ninja lady named Evangelina Chen, a mad scientist head in a jar, his assistant Manny, and a veteran named Doc in a VW bus. And they travel to all the conspiracy sites like Area 51, the Montauk Project, in the hope of finding a cure. And as a result, they sort of shed the light on these conspiracies. And, it's kind of like the X-Files if it was like a road movie.
Now, it's rated teen and up. So, what is the content like? Is it for humor? Is it for violence?
Well, the violence is more cartoon violence. I guess it might be in terms of the content, not because there's anything like offensive with it that a kid couldn't see, but just because it sort of delves into sort of conspiracy theories and
Gotcha.
alternate history and things like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I think comics are a wonderful medium because like there's no limit to what you can write about and what you can do, and it's just got so many different levels of all ages to teen to adult and mature to and
Yeah.
there are books like this where it says teen, but obviously a parent may say, oh, it's okay, I'm fine with my kids doing like the conspiracy theory X-Files kind of thing. So it's good. We just want to get readers back in stores, so that's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because we're able to tackle a lot of stuff that people have heard about or seen one side of, and it's kind of like a fun way to kind of like to visit all this stuff. And it's funny, like about Witch Hunter, I get so many people like coming up to me who are witches at shows and like are like thanking me for doing the book because I'm basically showing it in a more positive light than you might see in another book with the same type of theme. I mean, he is a witch. He's trying to basically, help everybody sort of stand up for themselves and find their own potential, whether you're a witch or a monster. He really doesn't care. He basically just wants to, help people realize their potential.
Right. Here we go. Okay.
So that's
And
yeah, that's for the second one. Witch Hunter
right.
number 2, and then the one below it is a hardcover comic that we did, 8.5 by 11, which takes place between issues 1 and 2. And I called it the Crucible because he basically is taking himself too seriously in the beginning, and this sort of helps him take himself not so seriously after he gets himself kicked around a lot during this story.
And what goes on in issue 2? Why do readers want to get to issue 2?
Issue 2, I read an article in a magazine when I first started doing Witch Hunter about that there was still human trafficking going on, and that a large percentage of it was women and kids. And this story basically has him being hired by this family to find out what happened to their daughter. And it sort of has a Twilight Zone twist because he finds out at the end that it's the last person he would expect that would have sold his daughter into slavery. And as serious as it does sound, it actually does turn out to be a fun issue too. It has a happy ending, at least for the kid.
And how many issues do you have at this point in the bag?
32.
Oh, you have all 32 done.
Yeah, I again, it's in a sense it's new because 99% of the people on the planet haven't seen him because we were distributing it ourselves, face to face at conventions. We sold a
Right.
little bit online, and it was only not that long before we ran into you, maybe a year and a half or so, that we started packaging everything into trades. So yeah, I've got all those issues done. I've got two of the one shots done, and so we're just working on sort of the next phase of the story. The story doesn't end with issue 32. There's just a major status quo change that causes me to sort of do it as a series, an ongoing series of one shots. One of the things that I think is really helpful to people is that any book can be somebody's first book or their last book. So you want to give them a complete story. So if you wind up picking all of them up, you're just going to get the larger story. But anybody who picks a book up is going to get a complete story from beginning to end and something that's satisfying, which is, it's really important. You don't want to lock people into an event or any type of long running story if that's not what they're into. But if you do,
Right.
you'll see that it all connects.
Yeah, I obviously I saw you at Terrificon. I got to meet you in person. So I just want to show these real quick. Um, Here we go. All right. So these were the solicited books trade. I like to show. We want to start showing interiors on the catalogs for people, but so that people can see what the insides look like. But obviously, professional level storytelling and sequential storytelling. Quite a bit of books, guys. Excellent stuff. If you're a big comic fan and you want fun and adventure and a mix of genres, then you should really pick this up. And then we've got these hardcovers, beautiful hardcovers.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. And the thing is that people are really just like blown away by them. She'll be by the size and the fact you can put it on your bookshelf, but it's still a comic book on the inside. I mean, if you want to open that one, they
Yeah,
can see that's the
yeah,
newest.
because this is the one that's being solicited with issue number 2 right now in the August catalog. So check that out, guys.
Yeah, and that's that artist is his name is Just Swamp. His name is Yusuan, but whenever people would ask him his name, he would say Yusuan, and they would say, "Oh, Just Swamp." So he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
So very nice. And this is 37, 40. How many pages is this?
Oh, that's a 36 pages. The one that we're doing for 26, which will come out in the spring of 26, is it's going to be a flip book, which is always a lot of fun. So you're going to get two covers, and you flip it over, you'll get another story on the other side.
Very cool. Okay, just to show you some of the interiors. What's going on?
That's an artist named Scott. He was heavily influenced by John Buscema.
Very cool. Very nice. It's got a nice old school comic feel, which being an old guy, the retro, it's really nice to me. I mean, it's really it's the whole package, like it's not just the enjoyment of a good story and everything, but just the whole feel of an older comic, and just the smell of the paper, and it brings you back. So that's really nice.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry that by the time you had gotten there, we had sold out of the Evil Monkey Man. So I'm sorry you weren't able to show the interiors of that.
Know, and that was fast too.
Yeah, the guy who a guy named Butch Mappa, he did some of the pages for issue 1 of Evil Monkey Man. I think he went on to Marvel after that.
Okay.
But yeah, it has a real great animated series feel to it, Evil Monkey Man. And the way it's presented, you'll see things like season 1 on the trade, because it really does move like a TV show. So that's how Blake has always paced it, which it's always been a lot of fun to see him do it, because they go all over the place. It's just fun.
And Evil Monkey Man, when is issue 2 going to be solicited?
I believe it should be solicited with, if not the second one, then the third. I'm not exactly clear on that, because Blake is doing the production.
I'm sorry. What do you mean? With the second of when is number 2 going to be out for release?
I believe it would be in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. I wish you had your camera. Oh well.
I know. Yeah, I didn't create the CSV. That's why I blanked on the date for a second.
That's all right. And are there other titles in mind in the future for Monarch? Are you focusing on Witch Hunter and Evil Monkey Man?
No, we do have other titles in mind. We actually have some that we've already completed. We're just talking to 2 of the creators right now to see if they want to format them as comics, because I believe they're both in trade form at this point. We were going to solicit them as trades, so now we just have to talk to the creators about repackaging them and maybe adding some content as comic books. But we also do fiction and nonfiction books too, which we'll solicit. We've done a couple of rock histories. We did a history of Black Sabbath called The Vinyl Testament, and we did a history of the band Asia. And now we're working on one about Rush.
Yeah, baby. I knew I liked you. Rush.
There's a lot of people. I didn't even know it when we first started talking about it, that there are so many people that are part of Monarch or who have worked with us or are friends with us that are huge Rush fans. And it was like everybody was like coming out of the woodwork. So we're definitely gonna have a lot of contributors. Everybody is going to basically talk about what their favorites are in order and why, and what brought them to Rush. So it's going to be a lot of different voices, sort of saying what Rush means to them.
Let me tell you, my dad was a drummer, so he brought me up on drumming. The first song I ever played at 8 was "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple.
Oh, okay.
And my brother's friend said to me, "Hey, you got to listen to this." And he played me YY, we call it YYZ, it's YYZ in Canada, which is an instrumental on their Moving Pictures album. And this just blew my mind. I mean, the same way seeing Uncanny X-Men number 115's cover for the first time, shortly after that too, it was this unbelievable new magical moment. It was like, wow, this is just incredible. What is this world? And I just never looked back. I dove into Rush the same way I dove into comic books, especially the X-Men. It was just it was instant passion right away, instant attraction, instant awe, and two of my favorite things in pop culture, in all of pop culture.
Yeah, Rush is a lot of fun. In fact, one of the Witch Hunter books I'm doing next year is inspired by Rush, and the guy who writes all of our
By
Rush
Torn a
books.
Snow Dog.
Yeah, well, no, it's actually the Necromancer
Oh,
from
nice. That's a great
Steel.
song, by the way. I
Yeah,
love that. That's right
yeah,
off the Caress of Steel album. It's their best song on that album.
yeah. It just always drew me, and it's my favorite Rush album. And the guy who writes the Rush book is actually the guy who sort of inspired me to do it, Matt Herring. He has a music slash pop culture podcast called The Radio Eclectic, and I've been on his show a few times. We actually spun it off into like a Monarch Comics Theater podcast. And he when he Blake is the creator of Evil Monkey Man, is a huge Rush fan, and that inspired Matt to do the book, which in turn inspired me to do the Witch Hunter stories. So we're calling it the Necromancer, and basically there's going to be elements in the story that mirror what happened in the song. And I'm going to say that this was inspired by Rush. So everything that you see them doing, you're going to see sort of a parallel with Witch Hunter doing it. And yeah, I love that story. I just love how it starts out so slow and plodding, and then that deep
Hmm.
voice comes in. So I think anybody who likes Rush will have fun saying, "Oh yeah, that's that and that's that in the song."
Dude, you got songs like Under the Bridge on there and all that stuff, and then you
Yeah,
get into Didax and Rar-Pits.
yeah,
That's just great.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Anyway, I could talk Rush all day. I know every album, every song, every note. I played. Please, I've covered Rush, done Rush cover bands. You name it.
I mean, I
But
like I
damn
like
right.
it. I like everything, but my favorite is when they actually um
The progressive fantasy
yeah,
stuff,
had this,
right?
yeah, like
The Caress
when
of Steel, the Hemispheres.
right, when it was when the songs were allowed to breathe. I mean, actually, Hemispheres is actually that caps my nine favorite ones. I mean, I love Caress of Steel, I love Hemispheres, I love Farewell to Kings.
Yep.
I love all that stuff.
2112. Yeah.
Yeah, 2112. But like, yeah, the earlier ones where you have songs that just go on and on and on. It really you really feel like you're not just listening to a song. You feel like you're inhabiting an environment, and that's my favorite Rush stuff.
And it's funny because their first Rush album was kind of considered a wannabe Zeppelin album, and then Fly By Night was their second album, and it started to go a little more with By Torn the Snow Dog into a little
Right.
more progressive stuff, but it still held on to some of that core rock stuff. And then they just said, "Oh, screw this," and they did what they wanted to do with Caress of Steel. The Mercury went nuts. They were so pissed. They were not happy with this album. They were like, "This is you can't put this out there. Who wants 12-minute, 20-minute songs?" And they just went off. And then it didn't sell really well. But they said we don't care, and they did 2112 anyway, and that blew up. And that's when the record company was like, "All right, do whatever the hell you want."
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so it's great to see. You got the Black Sabbath and the Rush, the Black Sabbath book. You got the Rush coming out. You're doing other genres. That's fantastic. Um, I can't wait to see that Rush book.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the cover is going to be. I think that's up in the air right now, but I am really excited to see what the artist turns in as a concept drawing.
well, I have to say you could play on the Three Stooges theme because they used to always play that at the beginning of their concerts.
Oh,
Wink,
that's
wink,
funny.
wink, 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 wink. Um, but yeah, man. Just you, I saw them 39 times. I
Oh
wish I
wow.
knew it was. I wish I knew it was their last tour. Otherwise, I would have at least made the 40. But
Yeah,
um,
I missed the one with the washing machines. I was leaving my
mm,
house and I got a phone call saying that I had to give the ticket to somebody else. I was on my way to the
oh,
garden. Yeah, so
that's
I never got to see them live. I mean, I've gotten to see I think everybody else that I've ever wanted to see, I've been able to see. I got to see what I consider Led Zeppelin. I saw, Page and Plant when they got back together at
yeah,
Madison Square Garden, and Yes, and King Crimson. I got to see the Eagles, which is my favorite band. I got to see
yeah. I love the
Genesis,
Eagles.
but yeah, I never got a chance to see Rush. Unfortunately, I mean, I would love that. If Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson did, they are talking about it. I don't know. It obviously wouldn't be Rush, but I would like to see them.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I know some people couldn't take Gay Lee's voice, but the funny thing is the people that say that love Guns N' Roses, so I don't get it. But anyway, just a brilliant band. As far as Evil Monkey Man, is this an ongoing series? Is this limited? How many books do you have in the bag?
Right now we've got seven completed, and I believe the saga of Evil Monkey Man is going to be 12, and then again, because of what happens in issue 12, there's a status quo change, and the adventures will continue, but it's going to be called something else. I
Okay,
don't think
cool.
I don't think we've seen the last of Mike Ross, aka Evil Monkey Man, after issue 12, but there definitely is going to be, a major shift in what happens. And we love doing stuff like that because it kind of harkens back to what what you were saying about how people are more turning towards independent books because we're not bound by events, we're not bound by greed, where we're going to put out 27 different covers. We want to just tell good stories. And when we were growing up, some of my favorite stuff from the 70s and 80s was that to be continued. And personally for me, I'm a huge fan of the old chapters that they used to show at the beginning of movie theaters in the 40s, or the weird tales of like H.P. Lovecraft, Robert E. Howard, and my favorite, Clark Ashton Smith. You got that real pulp feel to it. I mean, I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, so I'm sure people are definitely going to see some of that in Witch Hunter because he definitely will be unearthing artifacts and going places to locate them. And that to me, when I first saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, I was just blown away because he actually made it better than anything that ever came out during that era, and it was a tribute to it. So a lot of that is, and you'll see a lot of that stuff in Evil Monkey Man too. When you look at the covers for Evil Monkey Man, a lot of them are based on movies. So when you see certain covers, like, is that Creature from the Black Lagoon? Is that Monsters Inc.? So we love to just throw all our influences in there, and it's just our motto is comic books the way they should be, ... fun. So I keep
There
coming
you
back to that
go.
word, and I think that's not lost, but I think it's not seen as often as it was in the past, and as often as it should be in a medium that should basically allow people to forget where they are for a little while and journey somewhere else. Allow them to leave the planet that they're on and get a new perspective of it, looking down at it, in a new context. And that's
See, and
just
that's the thing, man. Art has imitated life, and I get that, but it's duplicating life now. It's like it's not escapism anymore.
no,
What happened to the fun to just get away from everything? I mean, comics were a wonderful vice. I didn't need drugs or alcohol or any of that stuff. I could get, like you said, I could shut my mind off to the actual world for a little while and delve into this world and become a part of it. When I was reading major runs back in the day, I was so invested in them. I was in that world,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and the rest of the world just kind of blurred and melted around me, and it was a wonderful escapism. And I don't get that from comics anymore because they're so hell bent on the messages being so real and so true. And it's like, okay, but can we just give it a rest for a little while?
I mean, if I want that much realism, I could just live my own life, which I have to do anyway. So,
Right,
you know, you can still present, important issues, but you can put it into the subtext. You can use, the issues in your comic as symbolism for something that's going on in the real world. This way, you're not bogged down by it, but at the same time, you're going to come away with that same feeling. And I
right.
feel that that's. I mean, when I was reading, I grew up on Ross Andrew and Jerry Conway doing Amazing Spider-Man, and like you said, when I was worried if Peter could pay his rent or that he had to sneak in through the skylight to get into his bedroom so that Harry Osborn wouldn't know that he was Spider-Man, I,
Right,
I totally forgot where I was.
right.
And it was the same thing with the other two books that really just made me forget that I was in a room on Long Island was the Avengers when they were fighting that guy Korvac and he
Yeah,
killed
the Korvac
them.
saga. Yeah,
Yeah, or the X-Men pretty much well the entire run from the time that Dave Cockrum started until the time that
Yep.
John Byrne left. And and I love people like Paul Smith and a lot of the people that came afterward. But for me, from issue number 94 to 138, I every issue when that came out, I forgot, the world just went away from me.
Yep.
So and I've always said John Byrne always makes his characters look the way people imagine that they should look. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you anybody that anything that you see, like, yep, that's what it's supposed to look like. Even if you had no preconceived notion of it, oh yeah, that
Right.
Captain America is supposed to look like that. So they actually did
Well,
a great run with him and Chris Claremont on Marvel 2-in-1, which I didn't find out until years later that they actually did a really long run on that.
did they?
Yeah, it just wasn't a book that I picked up. It's not like I never picked it up. I love Team Up, but my dad would give me money after church on Sundays to get one book, and then it grew after a year or two. Where he's like, first it was one book, now it's two, now it's three. So I had to pick and choose. So I always got Spider-Man, I always got X-Men, I always got the Avengers, and then the fourth title and beyond was basically based on his mood. So I tried to get the Incredible Hulk as much as I could, especially because Sal Buscema draws him the way he's
Right.
supposed to look. And that was pretty much. I really didn't get to buy a lot of DCs when I was growing up, or that I get to.
Yeah, I thought it was too childish at the time, and then they started to get a little more serious in the '80s, and then the
Yeah,
'90s they really amped it up.
yep, yep, yeah. I mean, I love Batman. I mean, if my camera was working, I would show you my Shakespeare head that actually tilts back and can connect to an electronic device and turn it on or off or open a secret door. I have a huge bust of Batman in the other room. But yeah, it wasn't until I love the classic gray and blue. I love the bat and the yellow symbol. So a lot of the Batman
Yeah.
books I love, but yeah, I didn't buy a lot of DC books like you said until about 2000, when they started with the crises all over again.
Yeah.
Zero Hour I bought too. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I really came on heavy with DC in the '90s. Um, Prior to that, obviously Crisis, and I did some of the JLA stuff, and I liked, of course, Neil Adams' Batman was great at the time, um, with Denny O'Neil. But I wasn't a big, and I did like Teen Titans, Marv Wolf
Yes.
and George Perez. That was like the X-Men of the DC universe. The Teen Titans was great, so they had some good stuff. And again, that's when they started to get a little more serious. Because in the '70s, their gold and bronze age, their gold, silver, and part of their bronze age were kind of corny.
Yeah, there was a lot. It was definitely not. It was the one of the big problems that they had is that there was no real sense of continuity. I mean, you could have
Right,
Batman dating Vicky Vale one issue, and then the next issue is like she's completely forgotten about for
right.
half a year. So they weren't as concerned about like making it feel like you were in a living, breathing universe, which I think is really one of the main things that hurt them. I mean, yeah, it's true that they did have some corny stuff or more simplistic stuff, but I didn't really get a feel that it was real. And I think if I did, I probably would have picked up more books.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Um, so before we wrap it up, I want you, please, to tell everybody, especially retailers, why they want to order your books from this catalog.
Well, I think that from if you look at the art that you showed before, we have consistently high quality art, which is based on classic draftsmen. Like I said, if they like the artists from the '60s and '70s and Marvel and DC's heyday, that's the styles that you're going to be looking for. And the stories that we have, again, they're fun. You're gonna see a lot of issues when you're reading it that you're going to see are symbolic of stuff that's very topical, but we're not going to hit you over the head with it. The importance is just to tell a story that somebody is going to want to come back to month after month because we live by the to be continued. And that's really what people want when they come to the store. Like you said, they want an escape. And while our books might tackle some themes, we're not going to hit you over the head with it. We're not going to preach. We just want to have fun, tell good stories, and give you top shelf art.
Very cool. Where can we find you?
Monarchcomics.com, monarchcomics.com. We're also on Facebook, where you can see a lot of new art that's posted every single week. And we have a Substack, we've got a Tumblr, we've got a TikTok. But in terms of like new pages, new art, new artists, new appearances, you can check the Monarch Comics Facebook page every week.
Very cool. Vincent, I have to tell you, you're one of the good ones. You're a good
Oh,
man,
thanks.
and your heart's in the right place, and you have integrity, and you really care about the industry as well. And I'm better for having met you, and I look forward to continue working with you. And I wish Monarch and yourself all the success in the world.
No, thank you. We say the same about you. So thanks.
Yeah, but I paid you. No, I'm just kidding. And I look forward to diving into these books and reading them actually
Cool.
when I have time.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I know.
But yeah, so everybody, please go to monarchcomics.com and check out the catalogs. Remember, our FOC for the first catalog July is this Monday, Labor Day, September 1st. Now, the books will be available for reorder if you missed the FOC, but you will not get them in October on the October 15th release if you don't order them before or by September 1st. So just keep that in mind. These books are going to be for reorder, though, going forward in the catalog. And you, of course, have August catalog with issues 2 and the Crucible ready to go. You can order them now. You can tell your retailer. Fans have the power. Tell your store you want it, and they will order it with confidence if they know it's going in your pull list. All right. Thanks, Vincent, and I will talk to you on the flip side, buddy.
Okay, have a good one. Thanks very much for having us on.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya. So that's it. I do want to remind you, I have to. Philbo Publishing. We have Night Number 1 by Guido Martinez. He's a man in search of his own identity and purpose. As he prowls the streets of Strong Castle City, will he heed the call to battle? An ancient evil awakens, a new hero must rise to face it. Those of you who have backed us on Kickstarter know it's a good book with excellent art, well written. It is a mixed blend of superhero, urban fantasy. It's really a lot of fun. It's action-packed. It's adventure. It's what comics should be. Published through me, but written and created by Guido Martinez out of Argentina. Please go get order number 1. I think you'll really like it. And, of course, we got my girl, Tragedy. Tragedy number 1. In a world of superpowered people, mob assassins, and Chinese mysticism, an Irish assassin must battle her own demons while trying to find inner peace. Or will they all rest in peace? This is a character study in a fun way. You're going on the journey with her. It's an ongoing series, as you know. So check it out. Tragedy's variant covers. Ian Churchill, Chris Chung-Sung Lee with the Hulk 181 homage. Will Spatasio with Alex Sinclair colors, and thanks to Kenny Calderon doing the backgrounds, the new backgrounds on the Will's cover, because Will's didn't have time to do them. And Bill Sienkiewicz with Chris Sotomayor colors. So these, I don't know why it keeps popping up with the ratios here, but they are not ratios. You do not need to order this many to get those covers unlocked. You can buy whatever you want, and it'll reflect on the retailer catalog. And of course, going into August, we've got Tragedy number 2. In the aftermath of Grace's encounter with the Breath of the Dragon, Joe and Tony are on a mission to exact revenge against Breath of the Dragon. Also, what is the fate of Grace O'Connor? Find out here in the action-packed issue number 2 of Tragedy. Oh boy, there's a typo. Okay. We have the Chance Wolf variant cover. We have the Hulk 340 homage by Geraldo Borges. And we have the Tyler Kirkham cover. There you go, fellas and ladies. So there you go. All right. People were shocked by the ending of Tragedy 1. If you haven't read it, it's a big surprise. And next, if you are in the Long Island area or the tri-state area, when Tragedy launches October 15th, we will have 2 stores doing signings with the legendary Wills Protasio, one of the founding members of Image. Did some iconic, amazing runs on X Factor. Some of the greatest art in the industry of all time was done on those X Factor books, I have to say. Um, Obviously created Wetworks. He did work for X Force. He started off as inking for Punisher. Wills is a legend in the industry, also a wonderful human being. Alex Sinclair, one of the greatest colorists to ever color a page in comics. Obviously, most noted for Jim Lee's work, but he's worked with so many other people, of course. He started out with Image too. You've got Chris Sotomayor, another one of the greatest colorists to ever color your pages. He's been on probably 60% of your collection. Kreese Hyung-Sung Lee, who has really jumped on board the Marvel and DC train. He's been doing a lot of covers. He's a really great artist. I've known Kreese for a while now before he blew up and got bigger, luckily. And he's a fantastic artist. And then there's that handsome but unknown devil right there in the middle, creator and writer of Tragedy. We will have CGC signature witnessing there at both events. And we are going to, Wills Protasio is cutting his CGC prices in half for Tragedy books. And he will be signing other stuff as well. You can bring stuff in to sign. Same with Alex. Same with Chris Sotomayor, that you can bring stuff for them to sign, and Kreese Lee. I'm not sure if they'll be doing commissions, but I believe Wills will have an art book available. They may have some prints. I'll get more information on that. But October 15th, it's a Wednesday, from 10 to 2, we will be at All Star Comics in Lindenhurst. From 3 to 8, we will be at Fourth World in, I guess it's considered Hop Hog, out here in Long Island. Don't miss out, guys. It's very rare to see Wills and Alex. I mean, you'll see them at New York Comic Con, but what do you got to pay to get in there? This is more intimate. It's in a store setting, and it's free. So come on out and support Tragedy while you're at it, please. Buy a bunch of issues, have them signed. We can get them sent out to be graded right there in the spot. Everything taken care of right there. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be an awesome time. I, of course, do not charge for signing. Even if it's CGC, I will not charge you for signing, but I would ask, you buy the book. I'm not a somebody, but I will, of course, sign it if you just want all the signatures on the book. Yeah, if you could buy the book, that'd be fantastic. I'll sign it for free, no problem. I don't care how many you buy. If you want me to sign 50, I'll sign 50. I don't care. I'm just grateful that you would want me to sign it and that you want to buy my books. So come check that out. So that's pretty much it. I do, again, just want to let everybody know the FOC for the first catalog is this Monday. Please get your orders in by September 1st for the first July catalog, but do not mix the Zenescope and Devil's Due titles that release in September with the October releases. They must be ordered separately because they ship separately. And please do not combine the August and July catalogs either. Those obviously ship in separate months. Separate shipping, etc. You get it. All right. Anybody who wants the data sheet, the CSV, it's behind the retailer wall. All you have to do is sign up an account, and you can have access to them, no problem. If you have any questions or anything, just reach out via this contacts tab. And I've been answering questions. I have been talking to everyone. If you are going to invest in me, I need to invest in you. So your time is valuable. I'm happy to provide customer service and answer any and all questions and work with you. We have some big announcements coming. I'm going to tell you right now, a little teaser, and I'm going to post it. One of the biggest independent characters, or most popular or most well-known or most successful in the last 30 years? Maybe the 80s. Yeah, 80s. Is going to be joining Philbo Distribution's distribution system. And I'm going to make that post probably tonight or tomorrow. And I'm very excited because the writer is a fantastic writer. I'll give you a little hint. He wrote The Flash, he wrote The Punisher, and he created two iconic indie characters. And one of them was, at least as I can recall, the first one that dealt with mental illness, but a very cool, iconic character. And the other character is sci-fi classic independent genius. And that's the one that's coming to distribution. So we're very excited about that. We have other announcements coming as well. Anyway, for those of you who have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you're a publisher and you'd like to distribute through me, please come on in. I am going to tell you, I'm always very honest. We are a new startup. We have over 500 stores signed up. Orders were trickling in, and now we're getting a heavy flow of orders. So they're actually starting to look pretty good for our first catalog. And we are monthly moving right along, and we are excited. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me and talk. But Philbo distribution is really picking up steam, and it started out much better than I had hoped for and expected. We just love the community. We love the comic medium. I just want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I just want to give publishers a voice and a chance and an outlet that maybe they didn't have before, or maybe an extended outlet. You know, maybe they're in several distributors. I don't require exclusivity. I think it's a healthy market to have many distributors, multiple distributors. I think the other guys are doing great. I think they should continue doing what they're doing and getting books out there. I pray, I want retailers to succeed and do well. And I hope that they are willing to work with us and grow with us and give us a chance. And that's it. We love comics. We appreciate comics, from the mainstream to the indie, whether it's Monarch Comics or Marvel Comics or DC Comics or Philbo Comics or whatever the case may be. Support your comics, support your creators, support your retailers, support the medium that we love. All right, guys, that is it. Next week, we have Phantom Blade Productions, Symphonic Verses. They will be here next Tuesday, 8 o'clock with me. We'll be discussing their books, some other cool stuff that they have to announce, and we are going to go from there. All right? And I might go to two publisher format to go over a few books at a time, because right now there's only one or two per publisher, to get two guys on, and we'll work from there. We'll see, because I can only afford time to do one show a week, and I really want to start highlighting as many of the publishers as possible. Tell your retailers, sign up with Philbo Distribution and order these independent books, because we really are writing out of passion and love for the medium. We want to tell you stories, and we want to share them with you. They're scratching at our brains, and we've got to get them out there. All right. I appreciate you. I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Be legendary and have fun storming the castle.